Hey everybody, excited to show you in this video how we can now send text messages to both individual parents and classrooms full of parents at the same time. Now there's a communications plan where we want to shoot for certain text messages to go out, and we'll go over that in the site PD and you'll have access to that plan. But this is how you actually do it in Salesforce. Now, there's two ways to send texts. One is to send them to a whole class of students at the same time, and the other way is to send them to individual students. Now, of course, we're talking about their parents. So I'm going to start by showing you how to do classes. Right now, it's not an option to be able to send a text to every parent at the site at one time. But the process for sending the classes is pretty quick, and since all of our sites have between 10 and 12 classes, should be able to just go through and send it to all 10 or 12 classes if there's a message that you want to send to the whole enrollment. So I'm going to go to classes and show you, when you go into the class, of course, you see all of the students' names. Now, this view only shows you the first 5 students. So the first thing you have to do is actually keep expanding the list until all of them show up. Then you just hit the top little checkbox button, and it's going to select all of those students. Now, for whatever reason you want to manually remove one, just unclick that box there. Then once you've selected it all, go ahead and hit Send SMS, this little button here, and a new page will pop up, and it's going to be populating the numbers for all of the parent mobile phone numbers. Here, if you see, for instance, maybe a parent doesn't have a cell phone number or something like that, you can remove by clicking the little X and still remove specific students. So the first thing, once you've got your list ready to go, is to come back up here and choose the sender ID. Now this is the number that it's going to show up coming from when the parent receives it. We have 3 choices, and you can use any of them. My recommendation would be that you always use the same one for your site, so that when a parent gets another text message, it'll be in that same conversation thread. So I'll just choose the first one here, and then you head down. Now, if you want, you can just type the message here, and then you can go ahead and send it. What you might want to do, especially if you're going to be sending something multiple times, or you're going to send something to more than one, to the whole site, and you're going to have to do it for all of your classes, you may want to come and create a new template. If you create a template, you come here, you can name it, and you'll want to choose template type student. So the text messages actually send from the student record. I'll show you that later, but that's why you want to choose student there. Then you can type your message. Now, one thing that's cool is that you can insert information about specific students or whatever as kind of like a merge field, like if you were doing a mail merge. So if you want to insert, say, the parent's first name in this scenario, you can do that by first coming here to select student fields. Of course, if the field that you want is on the student record, which there's not much you're probably going to send from that, because this is mostly the attendance and the grades and whatnot. So what you would need to do is come over here to the student. That's going to take you to the student contact. So say you wanted to include the student's first name. You could come down to full name, you can go to first name, that kind of thing. Then you can just hit insert, and it's going to create this, which will pull each individual student's first name and put it into the text. Now let's say you want to include the parent's name. Instead of that, the parent's name is not on the student contact record, right? So you actually have to go to that family account. So you hit this little account that has a little arrow, which means it'll then take you here to the available account fields. And there you would want to go, I think in this case, to parent guardian one first name, and then hit insert. So you can hit, you can add in merge fields like that, and you can finish typing your message. Now, one thing to remember anytime you're sending a text is that we pay for the texts each individually. One text is considered 153 characters or less. So for the most part, we want you to try to keep your texts under 153 characters, especially if you're sending to a whole group, classes, or the whole site or something like that. Because if you're over 153 characters, up to, what is it, to 306 characters, every 153 characters counts as a text. So try to keep it below that. I'm going to also show you later how you can send picture messages. Those actually count as 5 texts. So we want to make sure that we are just following our guidance in the communications plan about how often we want to be sending picture messages. But so when you create, back to your template here, one piece of advice, since we're all going to be using the same Salesforce, is to include something related to your site, like your site initials or something like that, so you can easily figure out which of the templates are yours, because a lot of them will probably start showing up from other sites also sending text. So once you finish your template, you can just hit save, and it's going to take you back theoretically, yep, there to what we were working on. Now, you do have to go back up and choose your sender ID again if you are creating a text template. Then you can choose that template. You'll see it populate here. And then, do you want to send it to opt-out members? So this is if somebody contacts us and says, hey, remove me from your text list, you'll have to opt them out, and I'll show you how to do that. But generally, we don't want to send it to the opt-out members. Then you can just hit send here, or if you want, you can actually schedule this for a future date. So you can schedule, you can click here, choose what date you want and the time that you want down here, or you can even create a recurring schedule by clicking this button, and then say you want it to go out every Sunday, a reminder about the program the next day or something. So every Sunday, start and end date. So make it end the Sunday before the program's over. You want to start it this Sunday, or whatever it might be, and then again the time. I'm not going to actually send this, but if you're scheduling a future text, just hit the schedule button. If you're sending a text right away, just hit the send button. So I'm going to show you what it looks like once you actually have sent some texts. You'll come back to your class, and if you want to look at an individual person that you just sent that text to, or whatever, you just need to go to that student's student record. And now what you'll see on the student record is actually a conversation view of the texts. So I sent this initial test and then sent it to my cell phone number, and then this is my response. This little view gets updated in real time, so you can actually go back and forth and have a conversation with a parent over text this way. So this is actually the way that you can also just send individual texts. So find the student that you want to send the text to by searching their name, and maybe we want to send a message to Brandon McCall. Now remember, the texts are sent from the student record, not from the student contact, although you can get to the student contact and back and forth. So you could just click on Brandon McCall, Gardenville Elementary School, and it will take you to their view. You'll see any texts that have been sent to them in the past, any conversations that have been had, and then you can send the text from here. If you happen to be on a student contact, let's go to Brandon's student contact. Of course, you won't be able to send text from here. So the way to do it is actually to scroll down. And at the very bottom, you'll see the students associated with this. Of course, there should only be one. And if you click that, it'll take you to their student page where you can actually send the text. If you send a large group of texts, you of course don't want to have to click through and figure out who maybe sent a response or something like that. So there's a quick way to do that, and that is to go to Reports and go to your folder. I'm going to go to Gardenville on this one, and there's a report called Gardenville Incoming Texts. So if you click that, it's going to show you the texts that are coming in response, to the message that you send out. And so what you want to do on here, especially as we get into the program, is you're probably not going to want to see all the incoming texts, even if they are already limited to just your site. You want to limit them some more, and so you don't have to sit through all of those. So you have the ability here to change what you want to show. So by clicking this range, you can even click, say, today. I don't think I've sent any text today. Hit today, and then hit run. Right, and so there are no actual texts, but I did send some text from my cell phone in yesterday. So if I go to yesterday, hit run report, you'll see that. Now, say you want to respond to this person, all you have to do is just click on their name, and you can then type a response to that. And then if they send another one back, it'll show back up on that report. Or if you're still in this page, you'll be able to see the text come in without refreshing the page. So I mentioned opting out from text. So let's just say you have a parent that says, hey, stop sending me texts. All you have to do is come to that student and double click this little box by SMS opt-out. Oh, pardon me. You actually have to go to the parent record to do that, since the number's coming from there. So if you go here and then you go over to the account, the SMS opt-out, maybe I haven't put it on here yet. There will be a way, a little checkbox that looks exactly like the one I just showed you, to check, and then once you check that, it won't send any texts to them, as long as when you're choosing that, where it says send to SMS opt-out people, as long as you put no, it's not going to send it to them. Maybe if there's an emergency or something and you definitely needed to get in contact with them, you might want to send it to the opted out people, but normally you're not going to want to do that.